Sonny, it looks like you've been used more in some blitz packages with Knowles in the last couple of weeks. Like, I guess what makes you so effective when kind of attacking the quarterback from the position you're at right now?
I think it helps. I mean, I'm a big guy. I got some speed. I think at times I need to be a little better at using my speed. So that's something I just work on with Coach Jay. And obviously our defensive line is really good. So that offensive line, they have enough handling them. So you send some speed off the edge, it makes it even worse. So.
Does it seem to just be all clicking, just like defensive line kind of blitz packages? Like it seems like everything's just coming together right now for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're just scheming it up week to week, whatever they feel like is best for that week.
What do you mean better using your speed?
Sometimes as a blitzer, I think you can see this happens to some guys across the country. Sometimes you get a little choppy. It's just me critiquing myself. That's all it is.
Do you think, watching you, we see you sub in and out with Jordan on passing downs, but you've covered really, really well this year. How would you assess your coverage?
I think I got some work to do. I mean, there's been a few times where the ball didn't come my way. I think I could have been a little better on my technique and just things like that. There's always something to get better at.
Is your confidence growing in that regard then?
Yeah, I think I am. It helps when you're going against the best receivers in the country. So, I mean, if you're able to cover them, you can cover anybody.
You've seen a guy like Wisconsin's running back, and he's a pretty fast for a big dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. I think he's not the first really good running back we played. I think Notre Dame had a good running back, obviously. Penn State had really good running backs. But, yeah, he's a really good player. He's big, like you said, fast. When he gets going, he can go get like a big, long run, you know what I'm saying? For how I don't think you see that for a dude that size to have that kind of breakaway speed.
A lot of his yards come after contact. I think like 2/3 have come after contact. Does he, like when you watch him on film, does he look like a guy you can hard to bring down, like produce yards after contact?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just wrapping him up. You're not going to try and hit him up high. You can't come reaching. He's going to give you a stiff arm. So you got to be a sure tackler and it's going to be like a swarm to the ball. All 11.
Sonny, I mean, obviously you were a freshman last year, playing some big time snaps. What does it say about a guy like Jermaine to come in his first major snaps in that type of environment to play the way he did?
I think it just shows the work he's put in since when he got here. I think it shows how much confidence Coach Knowles has in him. And, obviously he got out there, the stage wasn't too big for him, and he did what he does. I think he's a baller. I think he's going to be a really good player.
What was your first impression of him when he got here in this moment?
I think he loves to compete. I love Jermaine. I feel like I treat him like a little brother, but yeah, he loves to compete. He's a competitor.
Sonny, not so much physically, but mentally. How much playing last year as a true freshman when you still should have been in high school, helping you right now?
I think it helped me a lot. I think it gives you confidence, like you said. I'm out there playing a few snaps in the Peach Bowl. When I was a freshman in high school, I wouldn't think I was going to be doing that at 18. So, yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence. Kind of got me comfortable with the system. So I think I'm further ahead than I would have been.
Last year's game against Wisconsin was kind of like the first time you sort of have like a bigger role in the game. It was like that night game.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that? Sort of like being used in some of the heavier personnel kind of.
Yeah, I remember that. I was kind of in there on like when they had 12 personnel and stuff like that. Yeah, I just remember Coach E just threw me in the fire. I mean, I wasn't really. Obviously, I was ready, but I didn't know he was really gonna put me out there. So when you're a freshman, you're kind of surprised when you actually get out there. The field feels big, but I think it helped me. That was my first bit of action. It was a super physical game, but yeah, I think that was a big moment for my freshman year last year.
Did you know during the week you were going to play, or was it like kind of a surprise?
Yeah, I knew I was going to play, but when you get out there, it's a little different. It's my first time really playing. So,
talking to Buckeyes over the years, they talk about how the Wisconsin game is the hardest hitting game of the year, and for that to be basically your introduction to Big Ten football, how much have you carried that over, and what was that like?
I think it gave me a pretty good introduction to Big Ten football. I was going head-to-head with some fullback from their team last year. I forget what number it was, but he could hit. But yeah, it was an introduction, like you said, and I think it helped me. It kind of catapulted me into that season.
Let you know that you can play at this level.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously it showed me some stuff to work on, but yeah, it gave me a little confidence, to play in a big game like that.
Sonny came in with Kenyatta Jackson, that sack that he had at the end of the game. What was your reaction to that, and to see him kind of break through?
Man, Kenyatta's a great player, and I don't think some people realize how good he is. I mean, he's going to be a really good player. I think he's going to be one of a first-round drafted kind of guy. So, I mean, he's got a high ceiling. He works hard. He's a humble guy. He doesn't say too much, but I love Kenyatta. He's a great player.
Sonny, I don't know if you've talked about this already this season. I just was looking at it Saturday. You and Lorenzo on kick coverage, standing there next to each other. What's that like? Do you have brother talk while you're out there waiting for the kick, or what's it
I think the first kickoff is a pretty cool moment. You know, obviously he's probably going to redshirt this year, so he's not playing every single game. So for that to be one of his games and us to be out there together, it's a super cool moment. I think it's something you got to cherish.
Did your parents get like a good shot of you guys out there together?
You know, my sister, she's actually a photographer, so she takes a lot of the pictures.
Oh, good. Okay. And a game like this, like even Penn State last week, we were talking about, hey, well, you guys play three linebackers sometimes against a team like that. And Coach Knowles at times was kind of like, well, you know, Sonny's kind of like a linebacker anyway, right? Some of the stuff you do is like a Sam linebacker. Could you ever be like? Do you ever think you might end up as a linebacker at some point, or no, you have skills that really fit best as the kind of safety you are right now?
I think potentially I could play a linebacker, but I think right now I have some skills where I can be a really effective safety. But I mean, yeah, obviously it's a thought for how big. I'm a big guy, so obviously I've thought about like I might lose a linebacker eventually. I'm not sure what that's going to be right now. You know, right now I'm a safety. You know, I think Coach Knowles uses me well, and I'm just trying to execute my role right now.
And when you're down in the box, right? You talking about last year taking on a fullback in the Wisconsin game, like how comfortable are you when you're that close? How comfortable are you in the run game doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, that feels kind of more natural to me. I think something I had to get comfortable with over the summer and in camp coming into the season was more like the in space, you know, in the slot. That's not something I really played before, in the slot, man to man. But I think I got more comfortable with that, you know, going against those guys every day in the summer in camp. Okay. So yeah, I think that feels more natural though.
Yeah. Okay.
Sonny, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Sonny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonny.